Hello and welcome to the Power Your Advice podcast. The Power Your Advice podcast is designed to bring financial advisors new ideas, why those ideas should be considered, and how to implement them into your business. This podcast is brought to you by Advisorpedia, the best place for advisors to grow their minds and businesses. And now, please join your host, Doug Heikkinen.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. In financial services, we frequently use terms that are confusing not only to outsiders, but those within the industry. We feel it's our duty at Advisorpedia not only to bring content to financial advisors that make them better in every way, but to table set and educate. This is the first in that educational set that we hope benefits everyone. Today's topic is, what's a clearing firm? Why do they matter to advisors? And what does the future hold for these firms? For that, we welcome back Michael Scaplen, who's the Senior Vice President of Sales and Relationship Management at Axos Clearing. Welcome back, Michael.
Hi, good morning, Doug. How you doing out there?
I am good. Let's start off with your wheelhouse. What is a clearing firm?
All right, very good. Thank you very much. So starting this morning, talking about what is a clearinghouse, and it's a lot of things to a lot of different people, but basically what a clearinghouse is it's a silent partner underneath of an independent broker dealer or possibly an RIA that allows them access not only to the markets and to technology, but again, the oversimplification of a trade, of taking the equities or that position and moving it to where the trade should go. So again, the oversimplification would be to take the shares in your left hand and the cash in your right hand to pay for that, and switching those from one side to the other. So that's, again, the oversimplification is where it all starts, is that movement from one side to the other. And then there's a whole infrastructure that we build on top of that.
So is that the only transaction that a clearing firm affects, or are there many transactions that happen within a clearing house?
There are very, very many transactions that happen inside of that. So again, the start is where the positions are moved from one side to the other. But on top of that, what a clearinghouse has done over the years is built an entire infrastructure around it, not just to move the positions, but to support other business lines. So you're talking about adding leverage in there. So if you want to go out and margin a position and trade on margin, you have that capability. If you want to do some banking, a clearinghouse will offer light banking via checking and ACH and wires. We do things like S-blocks, a backline of credit against the equity portfolio or the portfolio positions that you have. If you want to draw down a line, you could do something like that. A clearinghouse is also going to do your statements and your confirms and your tax documents, and they're going to integrate across a wide network of order management systems, OMSs and EMSs, and other CRMs where we're going to push data back and forth. And it's all of that is what really makes a clearinghouse. And that's what makes them unique, is how far their technology stretches into these different areas and how much capability they allow the IBDs and the customers and the clients to reach other products. So it's that diversification that makes each clearinghouse unique.
So let's get into that uniqueness. What are the differences between clearinghouses?
So when I began on Wall Street 20 years ago, there were dozens of clearinghouses and there were thousands of broker dealers. Over the years, what we saw was a consolidation, these firms folding in. So some de-risked off their platforms and decided they were no longer going to be in certain business lines or were up for sale and they were sold into other clearinghouses. So the differences became in what firms were not only willing to do, what business lines they wanted to be in. It was the technology that they either had to start with or that they evolved into, right? So the difference now that we see in clearinghouses is the willingness or the ability to take on various products, to understand and handle that risk, and to continue to move into other areas so that those clients have access to different tools. As all of the consolidation has come through, the broker dealers that remain have picked up books of business from other areas, right? So you had a firm that might have only been doing equities, and then the market turned and they picked up a group that was doing fixed income. And then it turned again and they picked up some options traders. Well, the question becomes, is your clearinghouse equipped to handle all of those business lines? Or have you made some conscious decision to say, I'm only doing equities, or I'm really good at high frequency trading, so that's what I'm going to do. Or I'm only going to concentrate on broker dealers in Miami that specialize in Latin American clients. So the difference between those, all of the clearinghouse is what we're willing to do and then what our capabilities actually are.
So why does a firm or an advisor choose one clearinghouse over another?
They make them on a lot of different reasons, but tech is again a big part of that. So is your technology always evolving? Are you ready and able to take on the next area that starts to pop? So in this day and age, we see fintechs. We see the millennials that are wiser, smarter. They have access to so much more information, and what they can do with that information from a tech standpoint is something that we've never seen before. So, if you're looking to choose your clearing partner, are you looking for an off-the-shelf kind of offering, or is your vision of what you need for your customers tech-driven and tech-forward, and can your clearinghouse support that? So when broker dealers are choosing their clearinghouse, they're choosing them for the technology, they're choosing them for the business line, the ability to handle that risk. But at the end of the day, they're choosing a firm like Axos, not just for all of the tangibles that we can deliver and that we do deliver. They're choosing us for the white glove service, right? Would you rather be assigned a relationship manager, somebody who's going to own your account day to day, handle your account day to day, establish a relationship with, or do you want to go to some other firms where you're going to get an 800 number? So there's much more than just the tangibles of the technology and the offering. It's the intangibles. It's the service. It's that level of comfort that we can give through the client services team and the conversion team and the relationship management team that all surround the broker dealers. So they're choosing on reasons like that.
Speaking of technology, have the advances in technology given buyers and sellers advantages they haven't had in the past?
It depends who you ask, right? So from a risk standpoint, I'm sure it makes some risk desks nervous, but yeah, I mean, by and large, there is so much more access to just information alone, where you can learn how to trade different products. Options are no longer as scary as they were because you can jump on the internet and you can learn what an iron condor is or some other strategy that 15 years ago you had no idea what it was. So starting with the information that's out there, it's evolved the mindset of the end investor, and then bring on the fintechs, right? So now you've got a more educated a retail broker dealer clientele that are starting to understand more advanced products. And now you're giving them the tools to get in there, to get into the market, to line up with the professional traders. And that knowledge plus that access and that fintech is what is delivering this advancement in the marketplace. So yeah, the technology is it's phenomenal. And I think we've only seen just the beginning of what that's going to come, because we're really on the precipice of this technology layering into the APIs that a clearing firm like Axos has. So we're able to pipe in the newest technology and continue to evolve with whatever the next one is going to be because of our API and our open architecture.
Being in the game for so long, you've touched on some of this, but are there other ways, are there nuances that clearing firms have evolved over the past 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's that hindsight being 2020. It's those next generations coming up with the different design models and different technology models and different ways to integrate and a different thought pattern. So I've been in the industry for 20 years, for quite some time, and I've exclusively only ever been on the clearing side. I've been from my early days in my career, I was a clearing liaison, which was basically a relationship manager managing a subset of accounts. And I saw how we did things back then, right? So by the time I moved up in my career, I had seen what the generation before me had built and how they had built it. So when I came to this position as a senior manager at a clearinghouse, I had my own ways of what I thought and what needed to change, and I brought that with me. And behind me, there's a whole new generation that's coming up into these management, mid-level management positions, bringing their own ideas and their own experiences. So that is what's pushing the development in some of the clearinghouses, is this influx in this smarter way to do things, and the technology is that's available that was not available 15 years ago or 20 years ago. So we're pushing this evolution and this mindset, and the technology is allowing us to better evolve and make things easier and straight through process and change what clearing was 20 years ago to what it's starting to be now and what it will be 20 years from now.
Speaking of what it will be 20 years from now or 5 years from now, let's get out your crystal ball and let's talk about what does the future hold for clearinghouses?
We have a vision on what a clearinghouse is going to be and what it needs to be, but it's, we've been pretty vocal about it. It's an all-encompassing model, right? It's not just a standalone clearinghouse. And being part of a much larger organization, we're able to start tying that stuff in. So we have a cutting-edge technology platform on the bank side. So the holding company, Axos Financial, we're under a huge umbrella. There's multiple divisions, right? So we've got a bank unit, we've got a clearing division, we have a custody division, we've got a robo-advisor. But it's about how we tie all that in so that it's a single point, so that you can come in and you can log into your account and straight through process your trades and look at mortgages and car loans and look at jumbo loans and back lines of credit, so that you can put your portfolio together and draw a line down against it. So what we're building is this holistic atmosphere where you come into a single account and all of your needs are taken care of right then and there by Axos. And so we're continuing to develop this idea as we tie down the APIs between clearing and the bank, and we bring in custody. And we're continuing to push that and moving by acquisition, right? So, when my clearinghouse was acquired by Axos, they started leveraging in the technology right away, and they brought in their ideas and some personnel. And we started to build this, and we tied in a robo-advisor. So we've got that. We're tying in the banking. So we'll have that. And there's a couple other things we have on the horizon that we haven't put out there yet that we're starting to tie down. And then most recently, we just acquired E-Trade Advisory. So we're tying in that network as well. But again, it's a holistic approach to the financial markets. It's more than just securities trading. It's an idea. It's a way of life. It is a holistic piece where you can just come in and do everything you need from your banking to your brokerage in one shot.
Is this holistic approach, this idea that you're building for the future, is this what you feel is going to separate you from your competitors?
That, among other things. I don't want to let out too much of the secret sauce, right? So we'll keep some of our competitors guessing. But yes, I mean, just alone in what we're rolling out now, it already separates us from what some of our competition is doing. We offer a diversified offering on the security side between equities, options, fixed income, foreign and local settlements, high frequency trading, portfolio margin, stock loan with fully paid lending. So just being in all of that, we've set ourselves apart from our competition, who only wants to be in one piece or one line of some of those businesses. But when you tie all that security stuff and all that experience and all that products into this developing idea with the bank and tying everything in, that's going to separate us today. And it's going to certainly separate us as we set the foundation to do all that and move it into the future.
You've had a fantastic year, and it's still early. Are these all the reasons why you're gaining so much market share?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, again, it started with an idea and it started with a vision, and now we've started to make those things come true, right? So being public company helps because we're not just selling the brand and the vision and the technology, but we're selling stability. And in the financial markets, that's important. So we have had a great year, and not just on the clearing side or the custody side, but on the bank side as well with what they've done on their mortgage division. But we're public, like I said. So we can go out there and talk about being a strong company, but we'd rather show you. Look at our quarterly earnings reports. Look at what we've done. Look at the acquisitions. Look at the stuff that we're putting out there. We're leading by example, and that is what's leading to our success. Is not just putting the idea out there, but executing it, delivering it, keeping our clients happy, giving them the technology that they need, and providing their end customers with the stability that they need to keep their clients here.
Michael, thank you so much for clearing up what a clearinghouse does for us. We appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time, Doug. It's a pleasure as always, and I look forward to our next conversation.
I do too. To learn more about Axos Clearing, visit axosclearing.com. Please follow us for all the latest updates on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, all at Advisorpedia. For everyone at Advisorpedia, our producer, Jakey Beard, and the Power Your Advice podcast team, this is Doug Heikkinen. Thanks for joining us.